Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first annual Fantasy FA Cup draw. I'm here with Cameron to make sure that I'm not rigging it. I've got the balls in the dog, or not the balls, the paper are in the dog bowl here. Okay, I'll give you kind of a look there, sneak peek. So that's what we're going to be drawing from. Okay, I guess I should, well, I'm not going to have it on screen. I guess, no. You guys can just, Cam's looking at me in the eyes. Okay, I'm looking up at the ceiling, and this is the first matchup of the Fantasy FA Cup. Playing at home will be Austin Morrison at home in the first round of the FA Cup. And Cam, having a home tie in the FA Cup is a big advantage. Can you describe what kind of stuff we can be expecting from the home teams in the next round of the FA Cup?
I think that the home team is always at an advantage. First of all, because of the home stadium, the crowd. The players usually are
not
playing.
Not this year. But with the lockdown, it's going to be no fans.
No fans. I forgot about the lockdown. It's been too long with no fans. Exactly. But I think the feeling still resonates. Home field, whether there's fans or there isn't fans, it's still your home, your pitch. You want to make sure that you dominate and show the opposition why you're at your own stadium. You never want to lose at home, and having home field advantage is huge. So great work for Austin. Hopefully his team can push on and beat whoever he's playing.
Yep. Kobani FC, managed by Austin, is in 7th place in the first division. Austin, notoriously difficult to contact. I'm sure he'll be one of the last ones to pay the winner.
Oh yeah.
All right, making the trip to what does he live on? Hutton Park Drive?
Hutton Park.
No, he lives on Valley Drive.
Yeah.
Making the long trip down Valley Drive will be, and it's a short trip because it's Chris Pike who's drawn away at Austin Polehill in the FA Cup. They both live on the same street. How crazy is that? Chris Pike
and snowmobile there.
Yeah, he might snowmobile over there for that Fantasy FA Cup. Chris Pike is in 9th place in Division 1. So it's going to be a very close matchup, 9th versus 7th, an all Premier League tie, as these are in this round this year's edition of the FA Cup. But Chris Pike with a tough draw away at Austin, coming off a 65-point week in fantasy this week. We'll see what happens. All right. Next up, we have Michael Nelson. Now, this is a very big home game. He's obviously in a different city. He's in Kenora. So this is quite the away trip for whoever gets drawn away at Michael Nelson. Michael Nelson, a big win this week out of the basement. He's in 12th place in the Premier League, coming off a win. So when you draw a small team away, it's always tough to go to a smaller team, maybe a little bit. We're not going to patronize Michael. He's one of the underdogs in the league, but yes. It's always tough to go away to that small team in the FA Cup. You never know what can happen away at a small ground. You can have a cup set, perhaps, a shocker.
Exactly.
Okay, playing away at Michael Nelson.
I'm late to the party. What's going on?
It's Cody Appel. Playing away at Michael Nelson. Now this has the potential to be a real cup set. It's an away game. It's at a lower team in the division. Okay, Cody Appel is up to 8th. He's playing away at 12th place Michael Nelson, and that should be an absolute corker of an FA Cup tie. Kieran's arrived to take a look as well, and perhaps I'll ask him some questions. Okay. Next up, we have Marco Calistro, one of the favorites in the cup this season. He's 5th in the Premier League. He's actually, for once, putting together a solid fantasy season. I personally never thought I would see that ever happen in my life. But there you go. Marco Calistro, he's up in 5th, and surely he'll be looking to make a strong cup run. Okay. Marco Calistro, at home against, and he gets an Ezard. That was the big question. Will Marco Calistro draw an Ezard?
Ooh.
Which Ezard is it? It's the youngest. It's Keegan
Keegan.
Ezard. Keegan Ezard making the short trip over to, forget what street Marco lives on. It's not too far away from our mom's house there, so it's a short little trip. Now Keegan Ezard, he's not having the greatest season. He's in 10th, so it's a 10th versus 5th matchup. Kieran, we see a lot of times teams like Marco, they're finally having a good season in the Premier League. Do you think they'll look to consolidate their position in the league and maybe field a little bit of a weaker team in the FA Cup, like we sometimes see, or is this a competition that you think Marco Calistro, divorced Marina FC, can actually win?
Well, it's really conflicting because, it's Marco against an Ezard. So he's probably going to try and put out the best possible lineup to win it. But also, Marco is on record not giving 2 cents about cup games, no matter what. So it's a tough one to call, but I think he's going to put out a strong lineup because I think his hatred for losing to Ezards will outweigh that.
Yeah. It's a little bit like the Manchester United Liverpool FA Cup tie we just had in real soccer, where both teams could their priorities are probably elsewhere in the season. They could do without the distraction, but it's pure pride at that point. You're going to throw out your strong lineup and do your best to win. Okay,
Yeah,
so that means we have 6 names have already been drawn. 6 teams have been drawn. That means we've got 6 left. We are halfway there in this draw. Coming up next, still some big teams in the draw. Some giants.
Yeah, some giants.
And we've
He's
just
not
drawn a
talking
minnow.
about my team.
We've just drawn a minnow, and it's David Hoyer with a home game.
Ooh.
This is David Hoyer, the Chorley town of this fantasy FA Cup, looking to shock a few bigger clubs. Okay, David Hoyer in his first season in the top flight. He's enjoying a relatively successful season, relative to expectations, of course. He's in 11th right now. He's really fighting to survive, and on a shoestring budget, he's doing quite well in the Premier League. Why do I keep wanting to say Mike? David Hoyer with a home matchup against. Oh, and it's an absolute scrap at the bottom. It's Nate Woodbeck drawn away to Dave Hoyer. That leaves some very big names still in the draw. I'm actually glad I didn't draw one of these two, because then people would have called it rigged.
No, it's okay, Liam, because you'll draw me.
That could happen, actually, yeah. So this is 11th.
This whole time.
This is 11th at home to 13th.
Wow.
Nate Woodbeck, the lowest point total points for across both the championship and the premiership, away to David Hoyer. Will Aguero make a return? Probably not.
Okay.
Not a.
Actually, if he was to make a return, it'd probably be that game for the FA Cup game. For a hat trick and get injured.
Surely manager Nate will not risk Aguero in an FA Cup tie away at David Hoyer. But stranger things have happened. The magic of the cup still exists. Okay. Playing at home in this tie it's Kieran Ezard, the name that everyone wants to see, that everyone wants to draw. And this is a big draw now. Kieran Ezard playing at home. He is, of course, in last in the Premier League. Could an Ezard be relegated? I did not think I would see it. Kieran, we have you here. Are you going to be prioritizing the cup this year with relegation a real possibility, or is it going to be throw out the kid, throw out the U23s?
Well, with the money I'm inevitably going to lose by my league position this year, I might have to prioritize the cup to keep the financial situation stable at the club.
Prioritizing the cup, Div 2 is a tough one. When teams slip down there, they don't necessarily bounce back up. It's have you ever seen Sunderland Till I Die? You could be going down to a Div 3.
I'm a religious watcher of that, and I'm confident in my ownership group that we're not as in shambles as Sunderland are.
So would you say you're closer to a Norwich than a Sunderland?
Probably, yes.
Probably.
Maybe more of a Bournemouth. Came up, struggled a little bit the first year, top half second year, and now in a relegation dogfight a few years into my top flight
you have it. Manager Kieran Ezard already resigned to playing in Div 2 next year, but bullish that he'll bounce straight back up. Perhaps the first yo-yo club of this young fantasy
The
dynasty
perennial
we're creating here.
I will become the perennial yo-yo club.
Okay. Please don't be me. I
Think
don't
about those-
want people thinking this is rigged. I'm not looking. Okay. Playing away at Kieran Ezard. Thank goodness it's not Liam Ezard. It is Devin Curry.
Oh, the
Oh.
revenge
And it's not as
tour.
long as an away trip now because Devin
Well-
Curry has just moved to, I'm not sure if he's there yet, but he's on the precipice of moving to some tiny place in the middle of nowhere that's somewhat close to Thunder Bay. Is it Geraldton? Something stupid.
Yeah, I
like
think it's Gerald.
No.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's Geraldton. All right.
Jeez,
So
that's a tough
Devin
matchup
Curry
against
is,
the
of
super
course,
hot revenge tour.
Devin Curry is the highest seed left against the lowest seed. Could the magic of the cup could really strike here? Devin Curry third in the Premier League. His name is Revenge Tour. He's been on a Revenge Tour. He is he missed out on automatic promotion to the next round, like Cam and Sandy, by 1 point in the table. He's been making a real strong push.
Well, at this point, you have to think Cancelo and Stones aren't going to be putting up 25 points each during the week. So hopefully I can catch him in an off week.
Riding his defenders all the way up to third place, and what must be classified as a favorable draw in the Fantasy FA Cup. Now this means we only have 2 teams left, and it is a mouth-watering tie. The only question is who will be playing at home. Playing at home in the Fantasy FA Cup. Oh, and it's going to be a daunting away trip. Playing at home is Bill Ezard. Bill Ezard playing at home.
Jeez.
And of course, that leaves, last but not least, playing at home against Liam Ezard, going back to the stadium that he used to call home. Across the country, he'll be having a huge away trip. What do you guys think? Do you think that the fact that it's a long away trip is a negative, or is that outweighed by the positive of the familiarity of having played at that ground a million times before and of having previously called that ground home? Cam?
I think that
Is it a net positive or a net negative?
I think it's a net positive because once a Thunder Bay homesman, always a Thunder Bay homesman. So I think you'll feel just at home. I think you're able to, as a manager, bring the sense of what the cup means to you and what the place means to you, and you can resonate that to your players. Hopefully, your first pick isn't too injured to come back and perform, but yeah, I think that you're able to do it as a manager, and I think it's a net positive.
Cam did just I was going to say Cam did just touch on the elephant in the room. Liam's best player, Harry Kane, went down today, the couple of days before the FA Cup tie, and it looks like he'll be out for a few weeks. So that's going to be tough to recover from, but we'll be doing double sessions. I've got the boys ready, and I'm relishing this away trip at Old Bill.
His backup's primed and ready to go, eh, Liam?
Yeah, Carlos Vinicius will be getting some reps in training this week, and we like our chances. It's a fantastic cup tie. Always a pleasure to go away from home and be welcomed by another bigger club in the league. But we're pretty happy with that. All right, so now I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask each of you to give me tie of the round. We have Austin Morrison at home to Chris Pike, Michael Nelson at home to Cody Appel, Marco Calistro at home to Keegan Ezard, David Hoyer at home to Nate Woodbeck, Kieran Ezard at home to Devin Curry, and Bill Ezard at home to Liam Ezard and Ezard Darby. Cam, what's your tie of the round?
I think it's going to be undoubtedly Keegan Ezard and Marco Calistro. I think that's going to be a bloodbath. Kieran touched on it, and I think he touched on it perfectly. There's no chance that despite the cup and despite what Marco's beliefs on the cup is, there's no chance Marco's going to roll over and let an Ezard beat him. I think it's going to be crazy. I honestly believe that both their teams are going to perform. I think it's going to be really close. And it's just going to come right down to that, maybe that last game, that last moment, that last goal contribution. And I think it's going to be a hell of a watch for sure.
Yep, that is a mouth-watering one. The bad blood It's going to be at Marco's home turf. It's going to be a rainy pitch. Tackles will be flying in. I just can't wait for that one. That one should be really good. Kieran, what's your tie of the round?
I was close to picking what Cam went with there. I think he summarized it perfectly. It's going to be, Stoke versus West Brom, just a shit fight in the rain at the Britannia. But my tie of the round is not because it's going to be a high scoring affair, but because it's going to be every little point counts. And that's going to be Dave Hoyer versus Nate Woodbeck, because you're just going to be watching that matchup and it's going to be one guy getting a goal or one guy getting that assist in a game that's going to push that guy over. So I think it's going to be tight right till the end, and it's just going to be crazy. Speak of the devil, speak of the devil himself.
David Hoyer, would you like to know who you're at home? You're at home in the FA Cup. You got a home tie. Do you know who you're playing against?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Oh, I didn't even hear.
You're at home in the FA Cup.
I'm going to say Cam Pettick.
Not Cam Pettick. You're at home against Nate Woodbeck, a very winnable FA Cup tie for you.
You know what? I'll take that, actually. I'll take an easy win against Nate.
Oh,
Win. Any more commentary on that, David?
I know. You know what? I'll keep it simple. You know what? It'll be a good match, but I think I'll come out on top against Nate.
Dave, having relegation being a real possibility this year, you're down there, you're tied in a 3-way tie for second last. Are you going to be putting the first team out, or is this a chance for the kids to get a run out in the cup?
It's going to be have the kids out this time. That's what I'm hoping for. I didn't get the chance to have the time to run out when I was a kid, so I'm going to give the kids a chance.
Fair enough.
I commend that. That's absolute respect.
David Hoyer, of course.
I know you know how I feel.
David Hoyer is, of course, famous for the 0-minute season with the Thunder Bay Chill and the PDL.
If you actually go on the Thunder Bay Chill website, it does say I have 0 minutes played, so I will have that for the rest of my life as a reminder. Okay, who's Kieran playing? I want to know.
Here are the ties. We'll do a quick recap for Dave, and then we're going to switch over to D2. We've got Austin Morrison at home to Chris Pike, Michael Nelson at home to Cody Appel, Marco Calistro at home to Keegan Ezard, David Hoyer at home to Nate Woodbeck, Kieran Ezard at home to Devin Curry, and Bill Ezard at home to Liam Ezard.
Oh, big battle there.
Would you want to pick? We did our ties of the round. Did you want to pick one, Dave?
Yeah, sure. Tie. Oh, I don't know who do I pick for this one. I'm gonna take Kieran Ezard.
Kieran Ezard versus Dev Curry, two opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, you think there could be? Is it a giant killing? Is it a cup set, or is this Devin Curry?
Yeah, I think Kieran. In the league, Kieran's not having not a good run of form in the league, but I think in the FA Cup, I think he might win it all.
See that the magic of the cup could live on through the mighty Kieran Ezard, the Wigan of our Premier League, of our fantasy Premier League.
Get relegated and win the cup in the same season.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
And just to be clear, we forgot to mention. I'm gonna say my tie of the round, guys. It's got to be it's Bill Ezard at home to Liam Ezard, 4th place in the league, traveling away to 6th place. So it's some big boys going at it. They just faced each other this past week in fantasy, so it's a back-to-back. Liam with a grinded out a 36-33 win, but without Kane, it's going to be really tough to try and repeat a victory. It's a tough place to play twice in a row, I'll tell you that much.
So the Southampton versus Arsenal that just happened, where they just played in the FA Cup, then they had a game in the league.
All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for our fantasy FA Cup Premier League draw. We're going to be right back with the Division 2 draw as soon as I get the names written on pieces of paper.